you. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to just have a very brief conversation with you about where the organization is and where it needs to go. And certainly Relay is a major part of that. I also want to let you know that I had the privilege of being along early in the ride with Gordy Klatt and Pat Flynn in terms of being on the committee after they did the event a few times and they realized what kind of potential it would have. That we actually were the group that came up with the name, the logo, all the things that we took to the board and said we want to make this the signature event for the American Cancer Society. I will have my 33rd anniversary with the American Cancer Society next month, so I want you to know that I am living proof that dinosaurs do exist. You could even argue, since I'm so Relay, that I'm the original purple dinosaur. So let's talk real quick about where we are. I like to get up and talk and wander, but I actually did something I rarely do, and that's wrote it down because I want to honor the time commitment that this meeting has today, but I've got a lot of things that I want to say. So bear with me as I'm literally reading a lot of what I'm going to say. You know, Relay for Life is the greatest story ever told in fundraising. It's the greatest story ever told, and you are a big part of that. You know, it's the best in history, and that is before you layer on the fact that it's not just about fundraising, that it is our face in the community, that Relay is so much more than dollars. And I'm going to talk to you today about more, and it is going to be about more dollars, but it's about more of a lot of other things too. So I had the opportunity this summer to go to Billings, Montana. I get to visit relays across the country during the summer, and I was talking to the co-chair for the Billings event. Billings is a classic event. It's the kind of thing that if you looked up what should a really good event look like, all the things you would check off mentally, you check them off, right down to even fireworks at 10 o'clock. It's an amazing event. It has been growing on top of growth. So I was talking to the chair about that event, and he actually offered that Relay saved his life. He basically said that when his wife died, he got angry, he got bitter, and he was invited to Relay, and it turned his whole life around. So Relay is much, much, much more than a fundraiser. It is our connection into so many communities around the country. But let's talk about where we are right now. Relay has raised $5.65 billion with a B. That's a lot of money, and it has really fueled the American Cancer Society's programs, our research, our patient support, all the things that we do. It has been amazing. I said it's the greatest story ever told. We also know that nothing lasts forever, right? So how long does Relay need to last? Well, it needs to last until we control cancer. That should not be forever. But it still has a ways to go. There's more that we have to do in the fight against cancer. And since the organization saw fit to have me here today, I want to make sure that I don't leave here without saying some things that I think we all need to think about as we go forward. Think of this conversation as not volunteers and staff, but one body committed to the fight against cancer through the American Cancer Society, and certainly through Relay for Life. You know, at its peak, Relay raised $409 million in 2009. It stayed relatively flat, and then it really began a rapid decline over the last 3 years. So Relay is down in income. However, at the amount of money that it will raise this year, just shy of $300 million, nobody comes close. Only Komen and Hart even have events similar that top the $100 million mark. So the point there is that Relay is still vibrant, it's still strong. There are other organizations that would literally kill to have what we have together in Relay. You could talk about, well, is it fair to blame all the changes that the organization has gone through over the past several years and say, well, that's the reason Relay is down? Well, we know that the changes certainly have had an impact on Relay is down. We also know that we got a bit complacent as an organization. And we kind of looked at Relay as that oil well over there that's just going to keep pumping. It's going to keep producing. And so some of our events got a bit stale. Some of our customer experiences maybe were less than they should have been. And so it's time for the organization to recommit itself, if you will, to Relay. because of the fact that it isn't just about money, that it is our face to the community. Relay gave cancer survivorship its rightful place. It made it a very special thing where people honor those who are fighting cancer and really remember those that they have lost to cancer in a very special way. So we know if Relay went away, how tragic that would be. So where are we now? We're down significantly. And so where do we go from here? I would say, is Relay something that had a great run and we just need to make plans to move on? I'm not even going to stop and let you answer that because I know what your answer is. I actually believe that we can turn the trajectory of Relay around in dollars. Some people say that you have to see something to believe it, and I would say you have to believe it to see it. And so it's really important that we get back to believing that not only is Relay special for all the reasons I've talked about, but it is also special because of the revenue that it brings in that fuels the American Cancer Society's engine. So if we're going to raise just shy of $300 million this year, is it okay for Relay to go down another $20 million next year, $10 million, $5 million? No, it isn't okay. So what do we do about that? You know, what is our mindset? I believe we are the greatest nonprofit organization in the world. I might be a bit biased, but that's my belief. And if we are that, then we have to start thinking and acting that way. Our mindset has to be different. So we don't hope to succeed. We absolutely have to plan to succeed. And that's why you're here. We don't look back. We look forward. You know, I'm sure you've heard this before, but the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror. So we've struggled a bit in Relay as an organization. Not everywhere, but collectively as an organization, we're down. So what are we going to do about it is the question. So I know you're going to leave this meeting full of spirit, full of dedication, full of motivation, possibly even more than when you came in. I don't know if that's possible because I could hear you back there, but I know you probably will. So do we need more money? I ask you, do we? Yeah, so we need more money, but what else do we need more of? Okay, we need more new leadership volunteers. We need more new teams. We need more new cancer survivors participating, not just showing up for a dinner, but raising money, being team captains, being leadership volunteers. Every team that has a cancer survivor outraises teams that don't $3 to 1. I'm from Alabama. Even I get that, okay? I understand that. We need to have each event look at its own personal roadmap for success. That's where you come in. What is it that you've got to do? What are the levers that you've got to pull in order to make that Relay be more vibrant, yes, raise more money, be more meaningful for the customers, make it strong as it possibly can be. So as we look at where we need to go and changing the trajectory of the Relay for Life for the whole organization, turning that fundraising around, we know we need the dollars to save more lives, okay? We know we need more transportation. We know we need more cancer research grants. We know we need less people smoking. All the things that we are fighting for, Relay fuels. So while we do need more money, it's not just for money's sake. It is to deliver on the promise of a better American Cancer Society, which is why we made a lot of these changes that we've made in the first place. So as I close out, I want you to know that I relay for my dad and my sister, who are cancer survivors. I relay for my grandmother and the best friend in the world that I had that I lost in the 11th grade. I relay for my children in hopes that they won't be faced with cancer. Each of your communities this year must dedicate yourself to make Relay personal. Personal in reflection on who you have lost, and personal in inspiration on who you are fighting for and relaying for this year. I asked that co-chair in Billings, Montana, how in the world did you grow on top of growth on top of growth at a time when Relay as an organization, we're faced with a lot of challenges with Relay? His answer was, we made it personal. We challenged every single leadership volunteer to challenge every other volunteer they touched to make it personal, meaning invite somebody you know has that connection to cancer. Every team, every committee, everything we do, we made it personal. And I have to say, it was one of the most awesome Relay experiences I have ever had. And hearing him talk about how it saved his life and how they made it personal, there's something there, okay? We've got to get back to that. We've got to make it more personal. So I talked with the executive vice presidents just recently and told them that 2016 is the year we've got to take the hill. The enemy is cancer. It's up above the hill. We are down below. We've got to take it. We've got to turn the trajectory of Relay around. Let me just say that I cannot imagine a better group of people than the Relay for Life Nation to march alongside and to charge up that hill and take the enemy called cancer than each of you. So in 2016, that will start here and now in the great state of Florida. Thank you for all that you do. My name is Joe Cahoon. I've been relaying for 26 years, and I'm excited to paint my world purple. Thank you for everything.